Welcome to another edition of the Hoop Scoop. I'm Jared Johnson, and Texas Tech dispatched Colorado Wednesday night here in Lubbock in the home finale for the 2024-25 season for Texas Tech. The final score was 91-75, so the Red Raiders were this close to covering. I think the spread was 17.5 going into it, but more importantly, the Red Raiders pushed their overall record to 23-7, and their Big 12 conference record to 14-5. So, the Red Raiders, they clinched the top 4 spot in the Big 12 tournament, which will be in Kansas City. That means they get 2 byes. They don't have to play till Thursday. The first 2 days, they get extra rest, all that. It's really good in terms of the rest of the Big 12 tournament, but in my mind, more importantly, March Madness. And just overall standing, the Red Raiders are tied with Arizona for second. Houston's already clinched the regular season title, so that's done. But Tech does have one more regular season game remaining. That's at Arizona State, team that took Texas Tech to double overtime a couple of weeks ago here in Lubbock. It's a good, talented offensive team. Now, they made some crazy shots. They were like banking in threes and stuff like that. But still, they made those shots. They were really good against Texas Tech. And obviously, the Red Raiders are one of the top offensive teams in the country, number 9 overall. Just going back to the game against Colorado last night, Tech matched a program record with 16 threes. JT Toppin went off again for 30 points and 14 rebounds. And it seemed like everybody except for Federico, who has no business ever shooting a 3, let's be honest. Unless it's like a last second, you have the ball, you got to throw it up. Kind of situation. He should never shoot a 3, but the rest of the guys in regular rotation, all 7 of them, did make a 3, including JT, who made 2. Kerwin Walton made 4. Christian Anderson made several, 3 trifectas. He had 12 points and 4 assists. Elijah Hawkins made 1. I think he only shot 4 shots overall, but he did have 7 assists with just 2 turnovers. Trying to look to see who else. Darian Williams made a couple of 3s. He had 11 points. Oh, Chance McMillan was excellent, especially early. He really got Texas Tech going. He finished with 15 points. He made 3 trifectas, and he had 3 assists. So, good just offensive performance. Defensively, Colorado was able to do some things in the paint, though it wasn't as dramatic as what Kansas did. Kansas really pounded Tech in the paint, but even in that game, Tech made 15 threes, and they still beat Kansas in Lawrence at the Fog for just the second time in program history. So it's not like that was terrible, but I think there's a pattern, and it's something that Coach McCaslin's mentioned, that they have to get more physical around the paint on both sides of the ball. But Colorado only outscored Tech by 4 in the paint, but it was something where Colorado was effective enough, especially down low, to stay close at times with Texas Tech. But to me, you're really just being nitpicky. You're talking about a 16-point victory over a conference opponent. Tech's number 9 in the country. They're second in the Big 12. And the champion, Tech's the only ones to beat Houston, in the Big 12 this season so far. So, with just a game ago. So things are really lining up nicely for the Red Raiders in terms of postseason play. My thought was that they were pretty much locked into a 3 seed, but I think a 2 seed is even possible at this point. They got to handle business against Arizona State, like I said, led by Bobby Hurley there out there in Tempe. It's a very talented offensive team. I don't know. I've only heard just kind of background noise in terms of suspensions and stuff like that, but they had that kind of stuff going on before they came out here to Lubbock and almost upset the Red Raiders. Tech was very fortunate, and they made some plays to win that game, but Arizona State was making some crazy shots and showed a lot of talent and offensive skill as well. With it being there, you figure it could be tough. But we sit right here, I don't know exactly what their roster situation is. But Tech should handle they will be favored. They should be favored, and they should handle their business going into postseason play. And then we'll have a whole breakdown of the Big 12 tournament and all that. But right now, I feel very good about this team. It's not an imperfect team. I do think um, you have to say that that is the weakness, interior defense, but it's not just a glaring weakness. I mean, Federico is a good um, defender inside. I do. JT Toppin is, I think he's third in, not, I don't know if he's third in the conference in blocks or not, but he's up there in terms of blocks per game. So opposing teams have to worry about him. Darian Williams isn't like the tallest guy. I think he's 6'8", but he's a physical player who can battle down low. So, there's not a lot of depth, but there's quality play. If you had to point out a weakness, I'd say that in inbounds plays have been a weakness for Texas Tech this year. Other than that, you're talking about one of the very best elite offensive teams in the country, a great shooting team. You have one of the best posts in JT Toppin, who I think cemented at least a very good shot at being Big 12 Player of the Year. I mean, he is in contention for sure, one of the top 3 or 4 guys. But I mean, there's a very good chance he wins Big 12 Player of the Year. He's a finalist for the Malone Trophy for the best power forward in the country as well. He's been tremendous. So you got an inside-outside game with Elijah Hawkins and Christian Anderson running things from their point guard and combo, off guard positions, orchestrating things very well. Very unselfish team. A team that's shown an ability to at least battle and play even with some really good rebounding teams. And at times, Tech has been very good defensively. Not all the time. They weren't excellent for a lot of the game against Colorado, but obviously they were good enough to win 91-75. Again, another victory. So I'm feeling very confident about Texas Tech. This is a fun team to watch, not just because, they're raining threes, made 15, and Lawrence makes 16, tying a program record just last night against Colorado. That is nice, but I think it's an end result of how unselfish they are and how skilled they are in terms of shooters and players, and their versatility. I mean, it's pick your poison with Tech, and I saw that early in the season that JT Toppin is basically unguardable one-on-one. And if you want to double, Tech is going to surround him with very good shooters. And, and Tech has been great at sharing the ball. And that's really played out even better than I could have hoped since seeing that early in the season. And the fact you have some very good, smart, intelligent guards with the ball in their hands, orchestrating things. And then the high screen and roll game and screen and slip and pop and all that. It's beautiful to me as a basketball fan because it's very difficult to guard. So I'm very optimistic moving forward. We'll see what happens against Arizona State. You would think Tech would handle their business, and then we'll go roll into Big 12 play and then March Madness, the main event. So I'm very excited. Red Raiders are rolling, and for now, I want to thank you for watching, and until next time.